to be the best. You may have heard the expression, to be the best, you have to beat the best. And I want to examine that in terms of whether that is accurate or inaccurate. Because I think there's different aspects of it and ways of looking at it. So life does have a competitive element, but it's a competitive element to make us better rather than what some might think to be a more controlling or dominance element. And I'll explain that. So we form soul connections with each other throughout lifetimes. You don't have to believe that, but it makes sense to me after a lot of study. Life Between Lives, Journey of Souls, Destiny of Souls. You can do your own research, but we're here to learn karmic lessons from each other and to make each other better. And if we choose to come to Earth, which is a very difficult place to come, then it signifies that we are open at some level to growing at a fairly fast pace because the challenges here are so intense. I mean, you've heard of two sides of the coin, challenge and opportunity. So this episode is a little bit more spiritual focused, but you can use some of the same principles on a psychological level, even if you don't apply them to the spiritual level. So horses have dominance such that one will wait to eat until another is finished. And in human beings, competition is more psychological. It used to be more physical, like in caveman days and, even in the Wild West, the fastest gun in the West. But now people compete for mates, jobs, status, based upon qualities like resiliency, perseverance, self-discipline. Self-discipline is called the master skill because it makes what all other skills possible. And one thing I've realized in my life is that it's not easy, it's not fun, but it's doable. And Joyce Meyer has a saying, new level, new devil, meaning that once you graduate from a certain level, and it becomes easier, and then you go to the next level and it's challenged because you haven't been there before. One of my books I talk about kind of the paradox of that is that in some ways life becomes more difficult, but in some ways it becomes less or stays the same because as we take on greater and greater challenges, it's new and therefore unfamiliar and challenging, but at the same time we have the confidence of the other challenges that we've gotten through successfully. So success breeds confidence, and the challenge is greater, but also the confidence is greater. And the tools by which we've learned to deal with new situations is greater. So that's why people can climb one hill, metaphorically, and then climb another. Even though the hills are different, the terrain is different. So going back to this expression of to be the best, you have to beat the best. So life is a competition of ideas. So you have Democrat, Republican, you have, communism, socialism, communism, capitalism, also socialism. And you have different ideas in business, different ideas in rocketry, different ideas in relationships. And the variety of life means that we become exposed to different ideas. When there's disagreements and conflicts with other people, it's because people have differing ideas and opinions of what works, different products in the marketplace. So there's not just one right answer or one wrong answer because different things apply to different circumstances. And what's right for a person at one time in their life and at one level of life is not. That's why there's not just one right food. There's not just one right, course of study. You can't say that chemistry is worse or better than math because they serve different realms and functions. That's why you can't say a banker is better or worse than an artist because the world would be bad if we had no bankers, but it would also be bad if we had no artists. So other people are meant to be individually, collectively, kind of like, I'm searching for the right word, but opportunities to become better. So Joyce Meyer says that the function of life is to make us, or the challenges of life, I'm not sure exactly which word she used, but are to make us better rather than better. Like I look back at my own life and I am less easily frustrated, can stick with things longer, more tolerant, but also, respect myself more, also have greater accountability towards other people, so in a professional way. And I'm sure in your life you feel like you've made progress in different areas, and I know sometimes it's 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, so it's not like success is a straight line. But to be the best, you have to beat the best, meaning that you have to become the best version of yourself continually, and competition and challenge from other people and from life is one way that this is accomplished. Just like, pressure creates diamonds. I mean, pressure could also kill, like squash things, or, so I'm not saying pressure is always good. Like they say, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But, people that have accomplished a lot generally are to be admired. Sometimes people are jealous, but it takes a lot of psychological. I mean, some people accomplish a lot on their own. Some people are born on, third base, and some of those people born on third base think that they hit a triple. But some people have accomplished a lot and have settled. Some people have accomplished a lot and are sliding back, or set themselves up for a fall. Some people have accomplished a lot but are just getting started. So it takes real character and resolve to really make great progress in this world. And people do compete over resources. I mean, we live in a world also of abundance because we're always creating new things. Like back in the the caveman age, there was only a certain amount of food, but now we have more food. We also have more people, but, we have better ways of creating food, and soon we have other planets to live on, not just Earth, and we'll be traveling among the galaxy and stars. I mean, it may or may not be in our lifetimes, but we're well on our way. So to be the best, you have to be the best version of yourself, and the competition of ideas that you face in the world will always be a reflection and challenge in terms of like what your thinking patterns are, what your limiting beliefs are, and kind of a guidepost to what needs to be done to move forward.